It's a new training year, which means new goals, a fresh start, and we are so dialed in. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video, I'm going to be discussing what my training looks like at this point of the year as a cross-country skier.
Currently, at the time making this video, it's the end of June, and before I get into June, I'm going to give you a quick recap of what my training looked like both in April and May.
In the skiing community, April is well known as the rest month or vacation month. However, personally, I don't like to use the term rest month because you shouldn't just be sitting on the couch all day eating potato chips.
Now, sometimes the body does need physical rest, and other times you need more mental rest. For me, April is more of a time to mentally recuperate from the season, and it's a time where you can take a little bit of a break from your structured training, and that means doing other physical activities or other sports that you like.
And for me, that was mostly going out for runs, not paying attention to my heart rate or my pace, or it was playing a game of road hockey or soccer.
Coming off the race season, skiers tend to be weaker in the gym, and that's usually because during the race season there's less emphasis on strength. So during April, that's when I put more focus on the strength training, and that was to readapt my body to weight training again. When your body's not used to lifting heavy, it can get extremely sore pretty quick, so I started the month on the lighter side, but it definitely got to the heavier side towards the end of the month. Now, transitioning out of April into May is when we start our new training plan. May 1st is kind of like the new calendar year for us cross-country skiers. The previous race season just ended, the snow is gone, and we are now ready to start a new structured training block.
In May, I never really did anything crazy. It was more just getting into the feel of things again. And it was important for me to not burn myself out in May and dig myself into a hole.
My plan was to take May a little more conservative so I can save myself and build into the more important months down the line in the summer. In May, an average training week was about 12 to 14 hours, and that mostly consisted of Zone 1 training, either running or roller skiing for me. Zone 1 is about 60 to 75% of your max heart rate, with slight individual variations. Here is a chart of what your heart rate should be around in each zone. Keep in mind it's pretty generalized and may not be perfect for everyone, but at least it's in the ballpark of where you should be.
Now, everyone does zone training differently. Some people split it up into 7 zones, but for the most part in the ski world, there's 5 zones. And another point of information that I should tell you is that I'm not at the same heart rate when I'm double poling compared to skating or running.
The reason for this is because at the same heart rate, double poling is more challenging than running or skating, and that is due to the fact that there is more local stimulus in the upper body. Another good example of this is cycling. However, instead of the local stimulus being in the upper body, in cycling it is the lower body. Now, I don't bike for training, but if I did, I would approach it like I do with double poling, by keeping my heart rate lower than I would when skate skiing. Personally, I aim for a heart rate average in the 120s when double poling, and when skate skiing, I usually aim for the 130s. Now, having a max heart rate of 195 beats per minute means I could be completing my Zone 1 sessions at a higher heart rate, even up to 146. But for me, a big goal this year is to keep my heart rate lower in Zone 1, and that's to save myself for the more important intensity sessions. So many endurance sport coaches tell you this to keep your easy days easy so your hard days can be hard, and I couldn't agree more. This is a very strong piece of advice. Now, the only reason that I would go faster on my easy days and creeping into zone 2 a bit would be for the possible technical benefits that you could get. Even though May was mainly focused on getting back into the groove of things, I would still do 1 or 2 intensity sessions a week, and it would mostly be zone 3 work. I was in the gym 3 times per week, and each strength session would be about 1 hour in length. During May was the hypertrophy phase, which is focused on building muscle mass, and exercises were in the 6 to 12 rep range. These exercises would be done until failure, or pretty close to failure. For me, the hypertrophy phase was only in the month of May, but for some skiers, it might be beneficial to have a longer hypertrophy phase, depending on your goals and where you're at.
At the end of the month, our team did a testing week, which consisted of 3 maximal efforts, and it was pretty much just getting baseline numbers of where your fitness might be at this point of the year.
For the past 2 years, I've done these same tests, so I have a big pool of result data, and this month my results were pretty comparable to previous testing weeks. Considering I was sick at the beginning of the month, I was decently happy with my results, especially after taking 1 week completely off of training to recover from the illness.
Transitioning into June is when I started to ramp up my training. The main focus of June was volume. That's high hours and low on the intensity.
I had a 19-day volume training block, which was 52 hours, mainly zone 1, but also some good threshold zone 3 workouts. This was the first volume block of the year and will help prepare me for the heavier volume training blocks later in August and September. Another big focus for me in this month was developing a stronger double pull, and this was done both in zone 1 and zone 3 workouts. One of the best things you can do for a stronger double pull is uphill zone 3 workouts. This is me after 60 minutes of zone 3 double pulling. You probably can't tell, but I'm experiencing a lot of upper body muscular fatigue, and that's the whole point why I do these workouts, to increase my muscular endurance. Technique work is also a must during the summer. Better technique and efficiency is one of the biggest factors in cross-country skiing, and that's usually difficult and actually not optimal to do during the race season because it takes time for your body to adapt to the new movement changes. So then by working on your technique in the summer months, it allows your body plenty of time to adjust and adapt to these new changes. I also did some speed work in June. Around once a week I would do some shorter bursts of speed, maybe 10 to 20 seconds, and this should be done during all months of the year, whether your focus is distance or sprinting events, and also should be done at all ages, especially when you're young. For strength training, I entered into the maximal strength phase, and this phase will go on for the next couple of months. This is heavy weight and low reps, in the 1 to 6 range, with more recovery time than you'd have in the hypertrophy phase. So that was an inside of what my training looked like for the past 3 months. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, smash the like button. See you next time.